at best.
We'll go ahead and begin. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out this chilly Tuesday.
All day.
Don't like the weather, it'll warm up by the end of the week, I guess. So today we're going to review the action items that will be formally addressed next Tuesday, March 3rd, right here at City Hall at 6 p.m. And we'll call upon our city manager, Mr. Bill Burrow, to review those action items. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. Your first item, well, first, at your meeting on March 3rd, Karen Scott will give the quarterly report for the final quarter of the year in 2025. She'll do that under the city manager's report. Moving into the consent agenda, first item is consider resolution R2640, a resolution acknowledging receipt of the City of Hot Springs financial statements for December 2025. Karen.
Good afternoon. The monthly financial statements are issued to keep city management and constituents apprised of the financial condition of the City of Hot Springs. The December 2025 financial statements are provided as an attachment to your board action request, and staff recommends acknowledging receipt of the December 2025 financial statements.
Any questions of Karen? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R2641, a resolution authorizing the disbursement of restricted general funds and appropriating funds for the purpose of equipping and furnishing the new fire station. Again, Karen.
Yes, the board previously restricted funds in the general fund for the furnishing and equipping of the new fire station. The list of items to be purchased is linked in your packet, and staff recommends authorizing the following expenditures be appropriated and authorized from the general fund board restricted funds. Non-capital equipment in the amount of $93,525 and capital equipment in the amount of $57,750. There's a budget amendment in the resolution that wraps all this stuff up. These amounts are based on quotes obtained for the items plus a 10% contingency, and staff recommends authorizing the use of the restricted funds in the general fund in order to make these purchases. The financial impact will be that these purchases will increase expenditures in the fire budget and decrease the fund balance in the general fund.
Any questions of Karen on this item? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R2642, a resolution approving the purchase of certain portable radio equipment and services from Motorola Solutions Incorporated pursuant to the State of Arkansas contract for certain public safety communication products, services, and solutions. This item is in the amount of $68,222.44, and our Fire Chief Ed Davis is here to present the item.
Good afternoon, board members. I come before you tonight to ask for the purchase of 9 additional radios for our firefighters that will staff the new number 6 fire station. These firefighters will need the radios to maintain communications with command and other firefighters during emergency operations. Our current inventory of radios was manufactured by Motorola Solutions, and these radios have proven to be resilient, reliable, and easy to maintain. HSFD is requesting to purchase APX 6000 model radios, which are nearly identical to the radios currently used by the city's firefighters. Arkansas law allows cities to purchase goods and services through procurement procedures used by the state. The state of Arkansas contracts with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for certain public safety communications products, services, and solutions utilizing the NASPO Value Point Cooperative Purchasing Program. The Hot Springs Fire Department requests that the board approve the purchase of certain portable radio equipment using the state of Arkansas contract. Linked to this request is the state of Arkansas contract with Motorola Solutions, the quote, and for the needed portable radio equipment, and the total pricing is $68,225.24. It is included in the 2026 budget. We included funding for 10 of these radios to be purchased from Motorola. Total quote after tax and all $68,222.44. There's also a picture of the proposed radios included in your packet, as well as the NASPO purchasing contract and also the contract with Motorola.
Any questions of Chief Davis? Hearing none, thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R2643, a resolution awarding a bid for the provision of certain personal protective equipment for the Hot Springs Fire Department from Casco Industries Incorporated, Sidens Martin Equipment Group, LLC, and MES Service Company Incorporated, and again, Chief Davis.
City of Hot Springs strives to provide its firefighters with excellent structural firefighting equipment. To accomplish this, request for bids HS 26009 for certain personal protective equipment to be used by the Hot Springs Fire Department was published and advertised. The request enumerates a series of specifications for various firefighting jackets, boots, pants, helmets, hoods, gloves, and goggles, as well as a provision notifying the vendors that the city reserves the right to award the sections that are within the budget that is available. 3 vendors responded to the request: Casco Industries, Siddons Martin Equipment, and MES Company, Inc. The responses were evaluated and tabulated in accordance with the state and local law. Of the 13 specified in the request for bids, Casco Industries was the lowest responsible bidder for 7 of the items. Siddons Martin Equipment Group was the lowest responsible bidder for 4 of the items, and MES Service Company was the lowest responsible bidder for 2 of the items. City of Hot Springs Fire Department believes that it is the best interest of the city to award the bid by item. Thus, the recommendation is to award the bid as follows. Casco Industries in the total amount of $169,227.40 for, sorry about that, for structural firefighting jackets, $80,072.07. That's 39 sets at $2,053.13 each. It was the lowest bid meeting specifications. Structural firefighting pants, $68,328 for 39 units at $1,752 each. Lowest bid meeting specification. Structural firefighting boots, $13,473.09 for 23 pairs at $585.83 each. It was the lowest bid meeting specification. Structural firefighting helmet, $4,325.30 each, 10 at $432.53 each. Lowest bid meeting specification. Structural firefighting protective hoods, a total of $1,108.14 for 22 of these at $50.37 each. Lowest bid meeting specifications. Wildland firefighting helmet, $678.90. 10 of these at $67.89 each. Lowest bid, but an approved alternate. Wildland firefighting goggles for the helmets, $240.90. 10 of these at $24.09 each. It was the lowest bid, but was also an approved alternate. Siddons Martin LLC in the amount of $9,709.91 for structural firefighting gloves, $3,113.75, 25 pair at $124.55 each. Lowest bid meeting specifications. Wildland firefighting boot, $3,651.80, 10 of these at $365.18 each. Lowest bid, but an approved alternate. Extrication gloves, $1,984.75 for a total of 25 gloves at $79.39 each. It's the lowest bid meeting specifications. And then flashlights for the firefighters, $951.61. 11 of these at $86.51 each, the lowest bid meeting specification. Then MES Service Company LLC in the amount of $9,800 for a wildland firefighting jacket, $4,900, 10 units at $490 each. It was the lowest bid specification. Wildland firefighting pants, $4,900, 10 at $490 each, lowest bid meeting specification. The notice of intent to award these bids was published, and no protest have been received. The final impact of this will be based on HS 26009 is $168,227.40 to Casco, and then $9,701.91 to Siddons Martin, $9,800 to MES. The purchases of these items will be funded via the 2026 Fire Department budget and safety supplies 352 and through Act 833 turnback funding. All of that is included in the COA. That's all.
That's a whole bunch. Thank you. Any questions of Chief on these, on this protective equipment? Hearing none, we'll look forward to the written report.
Next item is consider resolution R2644, a resolution approving the purchase of a Caterpillar wheel loader from J.A. Riggs Tractor Company doing business as Riggs Cat pursuant to the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program. This item's in the amount of $224,075, and our Utilities Director, Monty Ledbetter, will present the item. Monty?
I can't talk quite that fast, but I'll try. City of Hot Springs Utility Compost Department is requesting approval to purchase a Caterpillar 930 3F wheel loader from Riggs Cat. via the Sourcewell contract 020223-CAT. The compost division is replacing unit number 6722. It's a 1996 Caterpillar front-end loader due to age and dependability and the cost of needed repairs. The loader will be used for compost facility to build compost rows and load customer vehicles. According to quote number 184339-02 dated February 13th of 2026, the cost of the loader is $224,075 plus applicable taxes.
Okay, any questions of Bonnie on this item? Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Monty, the old one, the item, I guess it's number 6722, was that one still in use or still being used as of today, or does it just sit?
It is, it's still in use, but it limps along. It will start and run.
And you were saying 96 is when that
It's a
one?
1996 version. Yes, sir.
Did we buy that one new, to your knowledge?
I think we did.
Probably so.
We did.
Probably so.
It's 30 years
About
old.
30
It's,
years
so-
old,
it almost
That's-
made.
That's a good
it-
run.
I think it, real close to 30 years old.
Okay.
It's a good
Thank
run.
you. What are our plans with that one?
Like all of our other equipment, we'll surplus it.
Salvage it? Okay.
Either sell it at surplus or salvage.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R2645, a resolution approving the purchase of a dump truck from DPTC of Arkansas LLC, doing business as Dobbs Peterbilt, an authorized dealer of Peterbilt Motors Company products pursuant to the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program. This item is in the amount of $136,318, and again, Mr. Ledbetter.
All right. The City of Hot Springs Utility Water Distribution Department is requesting approval to purchase a Peterbilt dump truck from Dobbs Peterbilt via Sourcewell contract 032824 PMC. The utility department is replacing unit number 7704. It's a 1999 International 4900. According to quote number 12-28775-L2X9C1 dated January 9th of 2026, the cost of the dump truck is $136,318.
Any questions for Bonnie on this? Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. But was this in 2026 budget too?
Yes, sir.
Previous item as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And the next one.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Consider resolution R2647, a resolution approving an agreement for professional services with Garver LLC. Did I skip one?
Yeah, you gotta get seven, item 7,
Which one?
mini excavator.
Oh, I see it, I'm sorry. Next item is consider resolution R2646, a resolution approving the purchase of a Caterpillar mini excavator for J.A. Riggs Tractor Company, doing business as Riggs Cat pursuant to the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program. This is in the amount of $132,795. And again, Monty.
Okay, this too will be used in the Water Department Division, Distribution Division. This is Sourcewell Contract 020223-CAT. The unit that it's going to be replacing is a 9213, and it's a 2012 JCB 8085 model. According to quote 183651-03 dated January 7th of 2026, the cost of this Mini X is $132,795 plus applicable taxes.
Any questions on this item? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R 2647, a resolution approving an agreement for professional services with Garver LLC for certain improvements to the Lakeside Pump Station. This is in the amount of $198,000, and Todd Pillar, our project manager, will present.
Thank you and good afternoon. This is part of our CAO with DEQ, this project at Lakeside. Garver Engineers work order is in the amount of $198,000 straight up. It includes everything: design, surveying, bidding services, and construction management services. And this is coming out of or being funded out of the 2025 board-approved 2025 wastewater bond fund 449.
Any questions of Todd on this item? Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Todd, this isn't any change order, is it?
No, sir.
Was this established as the budget for the wastewater bond funds were being itemized?
Yes, sir.
It was, okay. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R 2648, a resolution approving the purchase of a day cab tractor from Tri-State Truck Center Incorporated, an authorized dealer of Mack Trucks Incorporated equipment pursuant to the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchase Program. This is in the amount of $165,570.77, and our solid waste director, Samantha Jones, will discuss the item. Sam?
Hello. I'm requesting board approval to purchase a day cab tractor from Tri-State Truck Centers through the Purchasing Cooperative Program Sourcewell. The purchase price of $165,570.77 is below the amount included in the 2026 budget. This truck will be used to haul garbage to the landfill, and it will replace Unit 9736, which is a 2015 model with 747,785 miles and 21,605 hours. Once the new unit is received, the old unit will be sold.
Any questions on this item? Hearing none, thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R 2649, a resolution awarding a bid to Spectre Manufacturing Incorporated for the purchase of 2 transfer trailers from the solid waste department in the amount of $271,518. And again, Samantha.
Yes, HS 26-008, an invitation to bid on the procurement of 2 transfer trailers was duly advertised and issued by the city's purchasing department in adherence with Ordinance 6148. 2 bids were received, one from Spectre Manufacturing, Inc., and the other from Warren Truck and Trailer, LLC. The low bid of $135,759 per unit was from Spectre Manufacturing, Inc. Staff reviewed and evaluated the bids and confirmed Spectre was the lowest responsible bidder. The total purchase price for 2 transfer trailers is $271,518, which is below the amount included in the 2026 budget. Notice of intent to award was published, and no protests have been received. These trailers are used to haul garbage to the landfill. The new trailers will replace 9486 and 9539, which are both 10 years old, and the old trailers will be sold once the new units are received.
Any questions on this item? Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Has your department done any business with Spectre before?
Yes,
You have? Were
Yes.
you pleased, or?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
yes. We've
Thank
had
you.
a really good experience. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Thanks.
Next, consider resolution R 2650, a resolution authorizing certain utility relocation and roadway improvement work related to the replacement of the Warwick Road Bridge with construction personnel and equipment provided by Coakley Company Incorporated pursuant to the term contract approved in resolution number 9826. This job is in the amount of $309,667. And Joey Stadler, our Assistant Project Manager, is here to discuss the item. Joey?
Yep, thank you, good afternoon. Garland County is moving forward with replacing the existing Warwick Road Bridge, which is off the Highway 290. Within this section of roadway, the city currently has 2 utilities that are in conflict with this project: a 2-inch sanitary sewer line and a 6-inch water line. Because these utilities are located in the county's right-of-way, the city is responsible for relocating them. Due to the April 1st, 2026 completion deadline and the need to stay aligned with the county's bridge construction schedule, staff is recommending that the work be performed under Coakley's term contract, which was approved with resolution number 9826. This approval will allow the contractor to mobilize quickly and help ensure the overall project remains on schedule. The utility work will include installing approximately 750 feet of 2-inch sewer force main, 725 feet of water line, reconnecting the existing services, relocating water meters, and a new fire hydrant. Funding for this work has been budgeted within the city's water and wastewater capital improvement funds. The total cost is $309,667. There is a certificate of ability included in the board packet.
Any questions on this item? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item will be a public hearing. I'll defer this to our city attorney to discuss that item.
Thank you, Bill. Mayor, members of the board, you may recall last week, an ordinance was introduced from its first reading only for an increase in the impact fees, to the development impact fees for the wastewater treatment system. Arkansas Code annotated 14-235-223D requires that there be a public hearing on any increase or implementation of a charge or fee related to wastewater systems. So this is the scheduling of that public hearing that you approved last week, so it will be on your agenda. The companion items will be, the wastewater ordinance will be read for its second time at your meeting. That's further on in your agenda. You may recall that last week it was presented first reading only for purposes of introduction. The notice required has been published and will be scheduled for your agenda next week.
So Brian, next week, you said for the second reading, then we don't do the third reading until the following meeting?
It would be second and final, assuming that the board suspends the rules
Okay.
as normal. That will be as we would normally handle such an
Okay.
ordinance.
Very good.
We just had to introduce it first because it was a charge on wastewater system.
All right. Thank you. Any questions of Brian? Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R 2651, a resolution declaring a certain structure located at 605 South Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code, and this will be your first item under new business. James Hardage is here to discuss the item. James?
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Board, for allowing me to be here today. The City of Hot Springs is proposing a condemnation for the purpose of demolishing and clearing a vacant, single-family residential structure located at 605 South Street here in Hot Springs. The structure is located in District 3 and is owned by Kenneth and Belinda Walters, who live here in Hot Springs. There is a second vacant structure located on this parcel. 604 6th Street is also on it. However, we're only recommending condemnation of 605 South Street at this time. The planning department has had a file on this property since 2016 when we sent a vacant structure notice to Mr. Walters requesting that he repair damaged or missing windows. Since that time, we've sent additional notices to repair the damaged roof and collapsing rear porch. In 2022, we began the process of condemning this property. And at that point, Mr. Walters obtained a permit from the planning department and had the roof, the back porch removed from the rear of the structure. However, since that time, no additional work has been done and no other permits have been issued at this address. You'll be able to see from the photos in your packet that the roof of the house is still damaged and missing decking and roofing. Both the Hot Springs Property Maintenance Code, Section 111, and the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code, Volume 2, Section 116, define a structure as unsafe for occupancy when there is a lack of maintenance or repair or if it constitutes a hazard to the public. Having inspected the structure, we believe that it meets those requirements set forth in the codes and is unsafe for occupancy. Given the extent of that deterioration, the inability or unwillingness of the property owners to make repairs to stabilize, and having no reasonable alternative, we are recommending that the structure be raised and removed.
Any questions of James? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next item is consider ordinance O-2607, an ordinance adopting development impact fees for the wastewater system in the city of Hot Springs, amending ordinance number 5275 and prescribing other matters related thereto. And again, Mr. Albright.
Thank you, Bill. This is the ordinance that we mentioned that is the subject of the public hearing that will be held next week. This is the ordinance that would increase the current impact fees for the wastewater system. The previous ordinance was adopted in 2004. That was ordinance 5275. These types of impact fees are limited in their application. It's only for new development, which is defined in the ordinance. It can only be used for growth-related aspects of the system. The impact fee imposed pursuant to this ordinance may be assessed, collected, and expended only for the planning, design, and construction of new wastewater facilities or of capital improvements to existing wastewater facilities that expand the system's capacity for the recoupment of prior capital improvements to the wastewater facilities that created capacity available to serve new development. The impact fee may be pledged to the payment of bonds issued by the city to finance wastewater capital improvements or wastewater facilities for which the impact fee may be imposed. The impact fee shall be assessed for expended upon the, no impact fee shall be assessed for or expended upon the operation or maintenance of any wastewater facility or for the construction or improvement of wastewater facility that does not create additional capacity. No monies from the wastewater trust fund shall be spent for the periodic or routine maintenance, rehabilitation, or replacement of any facility or any type, or to cure deficiencies of the capital wastewater facilities existing on the effective date of this ordinance. The imposition of the impact fee is for new development, which is any residential, multifamily, commercial, industrial, or other habitable improvement to lands within the service area. The commencement will occur when new development which is defined as the recording of a final plat on or after June 1 of 2026, depicting provisions for wastewater utilities, or in the event a final plat has been recorded prior to June 1, 2026, without the collection of applicable wastewater impact fees, then upon the application for a new wastewater connection beginning June 1, 2026, or 3, if no plat is required, then upon the application for new wastewater connection beginning June 1, 2026. There are exceptions to this impact fee. Those include reconstruction, expansion, or replacement of a previously existing residential unit that does not create any additional residential units, or installation of a larger water meter. B, the replacement of a destroyed or partially destroyed non-residential building or structure with with a new non-residential building or structure of the same use as the original structure and with no more than 5% increase in the floor area from the original structure and no increase in the size or number of water meters. C, projects which the impact fee for which the facility is covered by this ordinance was previously paid in an amount that equals or exceeds the impact fee that would have been required by this ordinance. D, projects built by governmental agencies. E, accredited public or private schools, K through 12. F, construction within a duly established redevelopment district or improvement district for which the impact fee has specifically been waived by resolution of the Board of Directors prior to the commencement of such development. G, such other economic or community development projects for which the impact fee has specifically been waived by resolution of the Board of Directors prior to the commencement of such development. And with respect to accessory dwelling units, there was a new act that was adopted this past year, Act 313, dealing with accessory dwelling units. They are not required to have separate connections, but if the developer requests a separate connection, they will be allowed to do so. That fee, however, will be capped at $250 under this ordinance. That is pursuant to Arkansas Code Annotated Section 14-56-205. There are also a provision for...
Commercial and residential, B, it's capped at 250?
It has to be an accessory dwelling unit.
Oh,
So,
okay, so residential.
yes. There's also provision for waiver. Should there be a low to moderate income development that developer can come to the board and seek a waiver of the fee for that type of development. The schedule for the fees were in the ordinance that was provided to you last week, as well as published as part of the notice of the public hearing. Dan Jackson with Wildan Financial Services, I think, is on Zoom with us. He prepared the rate study, which suggested these rates be implemented. If you have specific questions for him prior to he will be here at the meeting next week to go over his study and his calculations concerning these fees. But if you had any questions of him today prior to the meeting next week, he is available.
So do we have any questions of Brian or any questions of our guest on Zoom? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I take it the rates will be included inside of the packet, right? That's coming out?
Yes, sir. It was included in the ordinance that was in your packet last week. in
Yeah,
fact.
okay.
Yes, sir.
And were there any changes
No,
to
sir.
those? What, as far as comparable rate structures, were there any, municipalities within the surrounding area or Arkansas that were somewhat favorable to what we're going to see too? Because I know the issue for this ordinance came up, I want to say as far back as like 2 years ago too. We had been looking at, or one of the directors had some questions on impact fees. And there were some cities that were given to us as to what they currently do for impact fees. Is that kind of where we established a baseline for ours, or were there some factors that were more specific to Hot Springs that weighed in on how we established rates? Can you kind of share with us that?
Absolutely. I'm sure that's going to be a part of Dan's presentation next week, but he is here. I will defer to him on the basis and rationale for the rates.
Certainly, I'll just briefly mention that we are in our presentation going to present some comparable impact fees for other cities in Arkansas, in Texas, in other states, and nationwide. It's important to do that because the city of Hot Springs is not obligated to set the maximum impact fee. A city has great flexibility to set a fee at anything from 0 up to the maximum. But we economists have an old saying, and that is if you raise the price of something, you get less of it. So it is very important to balance the desire to make future growth and development pay for itself with the expectation that if you set a fee excessively high, you run the risk of driving off development. So for that reason, it's important to see what other cities are doing. And we will present a lot of data showing you what several other communities are doing with regards to their impact fees, and we think that's a very valuable input into the ultimate decision that you make.
Go ahead, Director Webb.
Thank you for sharing that. The other question is the desired intent for anticipated revenue for impact fees. Where does it intend to go? Is it water fund, wastewater fund? How's that going to be dispersed?
So the fees that are assessed on wastewater impact have to go into the wastewater trust fund, the impact trust fund. And those fees have to be used for the limited purposes that I enumerated earlier, and in particular, recoupment of prior capital improvements, the bonds.
Any additional questions?
Yeah. So any fee that comes out of these impact fees for wastewater will be transferred into the wastewater trust fund, and that's specifically for capital improvements. Would there any chance that these fees go into a bond recovery, or is that recouped through other means?
Well, that's
Is that part of?
That's essentially what we're talking
Okay.
about. Yes, it can be pledged against the bonds. It can be used to recoup the prior capital improvements which the bond's funded.
Gotcha.
But it cannot be used for operation and maintenance. It can't be used for day-to-day operational expenses.
Thank you.
That is correct.
Well, Dan, what do most communities just hold the impact fee for future expansion, of the system? Or do they use it to assist in paying down the current debt of a previous project?
I would say that based on my experience, the lion's share of the utilities use the money for direct offsets for capital improvement costs. However, that being said, there are communities, particularly fast growth communities, that are issuing a lot of debt to pay for capital improvements that do use impact fees to underwrite or pay some of the debt service payments. That can be a little risky because if for whatever reason growth stops, if there's a major economic infraction or something like that that causes growth to stop, then you run the risk of not having sufficient revenue from the impact fee to cover the debt service. So more cities tend to take the safer route and just use the impact fee revenue to directly offset capital improvement plans. That being said, city has great flexibility to do whatever it thinks is in its own best interests. And so you have either option available to you.
Thank you. Do you have any additional questions?
Mayor, I think it's important to note, though, that as we pass the bond to secure this debt, to build our systems and to take care of the growth in the system, we adjusted our base rates to cover that debt service, to cover those fees that Dan helped us develop as far as how much of that rate we would need to be able to cover that. So when we talk about using funds from an impact fee to pay down debt, it's paying that debt off early. And it really works both ways. You either hold it in an account for future capital needs, or you pay off the capital needs now that you're bearing interest on, freeing that to where when that time comes that you need to build again, you've got less debt out there as you go to perform another bond.
Very good. Any additional questions, comments? Director Webb?
Yeah, so speaking to that, which one of those would have somewhat of a direct potential, if any future bond were to come up, to offset or have lower expected rate increases? Would it be a bit more beneficial to have an expected lower rate if it's used towards paying the capital improvements, or would it be expected to have lower potential increase in rates if it's used to pay down previous bonds?
I think as Dan has indicated, as well as Bill, either way, because the faster you pay down that debt, the less you're gonna, that you're gonna have to take on in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those issues affect rates, whether it's having to pay for new expansion or whether it's paying off the debt service.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any last questions on this subject? If not, thank you, Dan, and we'll see you next week.
He's going to stay
you.
on for the next one.
We got another one, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Next item is consider ordinance 02609, an ordinance adopting development impact fees for the water system of the city of Hot Springs and prescribing other matters relating thereto. And again, I'm going to defer this over to our city attorney.
Thank you, Bill. Everything that we said on the prior issue, ditto, with the exception this is water. There was not a previous fee associated with water, so there's no amendment to a previous ordinance. This would be a new ordinance imposing such a fee. This was not included in the public notice for the public hearing because under Arkansas law, only the wastewater requires that public hearing after the introduction but before the implementation. It's a nuance of the law that I don't really understand, but that's the way that it is. But everything that we discussed just a minute ago with respect to an impact fee that benefits the wastewater system would be the same for the water treatment system.
Any questions of Brian or Dan or Bill on this one? Hearing none? We'll move on. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Final agenda item is consider ordinance O 2610, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 6520 by removing Church Street parking lot from the city's short-term facility use policy. Our deputy city manager, Lance Spicer, will cover the item, and we're bringing this to you at the request of several board members that wanted to reevaluate how we're using the Church Street parking lot. Lance?
Thank you. Kind of set the table. The board back in mid-January of 2025, you adopted an amendment to the short-term facility use policy, adding in the Church Street parking lot that was donated from Visit Hot Springs to the city of Hot Springs a few years ago, made some improvements to it. But anyway, that particular parking lot was added to that facility use application, being able to be used by nonprofits at a $50 rate or regular reservation at a $100 rate. The parking lot itself is, I think it consists of about 55 spaces, if I'm not mistaken. But some things that have happened recently, the board, of course, adopted an amendment to our paid parking program to expand some of those free parking spaces. And the Church Street lot was previously a paid lot. It's now transitioned to one of those free unregulated spaces. So the addition of those parking spaces for the use of employees, the convention center, I think there's a commercial space there that's under redevelopment, those type of activities would be available for that. But also for those entities that use that parking lot for different activities. We do now have a fully functioning community resource center located there at 109 Hobson, and that facility there is probably better suited for those type of social service activities. It's inside. It's not an open parking lot. You have access to heating and cooling, bathrooms, and things of that nature. So really, for those entities that did use it for different types of activities, that the facility there at the Community Resource Center is probably better positioned for it. So that's kind of what's bringing this about. Community Resource Center being fully functional, the board's transition from those spaces from paid parking to unregulated parking. So we're kind of bringing that for the board's consideration to remove that Church Street parking lot from that short-term facility use policy that would be amended by this ordinance.
Any questions of Lance on this item? Director Beard?
Thank you, Mayor. What does that do for the Fourth Saturday and the Giving Team?
They would be able to use the spaces there at 109 Hobson Street, the Community Resource Center, for those type of activities. Basically, that's the Church Street lot, parking lot. You know, it is a parking lot. It would transition it back to a parking lot, not so much an event space.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, that concludes the action items that will be formally addressed next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, March 3rd, which is also Election Day. So we'll probably be, election will be over by the time we get out, perhaps. Maybe not. We'll see. So there's no further business to come before the agenda meeting. We will be adjourned. Thank you.